Okay, everybody, I think it's time we can get started. If somebody wouldn't mind putting in the chat whether or not you can hear me, that would help. And if you're hearing an echo or anything like that. Can you hear me? Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Okay, my name's Laurel Wyckoff, and I am Education and Outreach Manager for New Mexico PBS. We are KNME Channel 5, in case you didn't recognize NMPBS. We are public television for northern and central New Mexico. There is also a station in Portales, which is much smaller than ours, so they don't have a staff person like me, so I work with them. And also, there's a station in Las Cruces, KRWG, which is also an awesome PBS station. So we cover the entire state. What I'm going to show you today is a free resource that you can use in your classroom, and it's called PBS Learning Media. So I'm going to share my screen now. I'm going to stop every once in a while to check on questions, so please put them in the chat whenever you have one. And I promise I will get to those. We are going until 10:35. So let me go ahead and share my screen now. And here is the front page of PBS Learning Media. So I hope everyone can see this okay. I'm going to just go ahead and close something else down. Okay. Here we go. Hopefully this is full screen. pbslearningmedia.org. You can sign up for your free account. You will see that the URL up here is nm.pbslearningmedia.org, and here is our logo. Once you sign up for your own free account, you will be directed to the New Mexico site. I am going to give you kind of an overall tour of just the front page, how to navigate, how to search for resources, how to save some of your resources as favorites, and then we'll take some questions and maybe do some searches for you that will help you figure out the best way to use PBS Learning Media resources. Again, this is free. Please sign up for your own free account, PBS Learning Media, all one word, .org. Okay, here we are on the front page. And I'm going to start at the top, and then I'm going to give you a quick tour of the whole front page. I'm just going to show you how big it is. I've expanded the size so it's easier for you to see if you're on a smaller screen. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom first, because one of the most important things down here is help. And so if you forget anything I've told you today, or you need more information about how to sign up, how to use the teacher tools, anything at all, there's going to be help. And of course, because we're a media station, there's lots of tutorial videos. Also, I highly recommend you sign up for the email newsletter. It will let you know about free teacher virtual professional developments that are happening, other events, new things that are turning up in PBS Learning Media. All right, I'm back up at the top of the screen. Please let me know if I'm moving too fast. Let me give you a quick tour from the very top. Anytime you are anywhere in PBS Learning Media and you want to get back to this front page, all you have to do is click right here on PBS Learning Media, and it will take you to the home page. If you click on this little arrow next to our logo, you will see what's going on. Now, if I had thought of it, I would put in here today's workshop. But there's other teacher events. All of these, for some reason, are virtual events. They're all happening on October 14th. But if we were doing something in New Mexico that you might want to go to, I promise I will try to remember to put them in here. Also, you can donate to New Mexico PBS right from here. And this is our featured resource right now. This is a documentary that we made at New Mexico PBS a couple of years ago with the Santa Fe Symphony and Chris Moore, a mathematician from the Santa Fe Institute, the Majesty of Music and Math. It has lessons and interactives that are so fun for all age levels, all grade levels. So I highly recommend you have a look at that when you get a chance. Carrying on with the front page, you can do right from here a keyword search. If you know what you're looking for, whether it's standards aligned videos, interactives, lesson plans, pictures, audio, anything at all. You can just type in here. It's your adult educators. I'm going to type in adult education. A bunch of things come up, of course, correctional resources, but you don't have to click on any of those. Click on this little search button, and you will see 4,782 resources come up. Of course, you can't look at all of those. So there are ways right here to filter by grade level. So let's 13 plus is anybody over 12th grade, and that would include you. So that reduces it by about 2,000. You could search by subject area. Anytime you see a plus, that means there's more. So you can drill down into subject area until you don't see any more pluses. What kind of resource are you looking for? My favorite kind of resource to start with is the collection. It's all different kinds of resources, all based on one kind of theme or one subject area. But you may be only looking for videos. You may be looking for interactives, lesson plans. Media galleries are collections of media around one topic area. Maybe documents, including primary source documents, which sometimes are pretty awesome. If you want to look at the original Declaration of Independence, you can. It's kind of faded because it's really old, but you can sort of see where John Hancock signed his giant signature. But if you can't quite read it, you can click on the transcript and read the whole thing. There are web pages, and then other teachers have built resources and submitted them to PBS Learning Media, so you can just look for those. Now you can see here, I clicked on collection. There's a couple of other ways that you can filter by language. Maybe you're looking for only Spanish language resources or only English. And then some additional features include support materials. And this here, download, if you have permission to download the videos, you can actually put them on your computer and show them later. That way, if your Wi-Fi is not so reliable, but you want to show a video, you can download it onto your computer and show it to your students through Zoom or whatever platform you're using. So you can see here, I clicked on collections, and now there's 88. That is a lot less than 1,900. So these are collections that you can use in your work. Let's say you're working in the corrections institutions, or you just want professional development resources for adult education. KET has a lot of these. They are Kentucky Education, and they actually have a contract with the state for the GED courses. PowerPath is probably not relevant to you because I believe that is specific to Kentucky. Here's targeted math instruction for adult learners, advanced technological education, and a lot of other interesting videos and collections that you can look at. I'm going to stop for 1 second sharing my screen to see if there's any questions. Nothing yet? Anybody want to put something in the question box? Otherwise, I will go back and continue on with our tour of PBS Learning Media. I'll wait 1 second because according to Terry, there's a lag. So. Oh, Claudia already got her account. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go back and share my screen again. Here we go. And as I mentioned before, anytime you want to get back to the front page, just click on PBS Learning Media logo, and there you are. Okay, every week, this row changes. In fact, it must change on Fridays because I just noticed it changed between the time I first came here and the time I came back to show you my screen. So right now, we have Jewish holidays. Before, there was the complete documentary about the Pentagon. This is under social studies, of course, and you can go directly to one of these. These are featured resources in every topic, and subject area. So in language arts, satire and parody, the grade level you can see here, 11 through 13 plus. This is around catch 22. Of course, it's not kindergarten level. In science, wave motion. In the arts, becoming a composer. So a composer talking about being a composer. This is for grades 3 through 12. Mathematics, keep, change, and flip, grades 5 through 6. Preschool, of course, we're preschool, PBS, right? We have Daniel Tiger, Sesame Street. Here are the professional development resources for today. This is based on a documentary from Independent Lens about immigration and migration. Physical education and health, who me, biased? If you were at our last workshop just a few minutes ago, understanding implicit bias was part of that. Interesting that this is under health, but I think it's a great idea. Engineering and technology, finally, and world languages. So every week, as I mentioned, this row on the front page changes. So you can go directly to them if you like, if you want to learn about the holidays. I think today is Rosh Hashanah, right? This will change. You can go directly to those resources if you like. Here is yet another way to search. And let me tell you, this is my favorite way to search. These blue buttons, because of the way the results when you do a search here. You can search by grade level, so band, high school, but this will give you an awful lot of stuff. 10,932 videos, for instance. But here you can, once again, filter by discipline, by type of resource. Are you specifically looking for videos or lesson plans or audios? And then if you change your mind, you can clear your filters here. The other thing to know is that you can sort by relevance to your search, by popularity. Are these favorited by lots of teachers? What do you want to see that's the most favorited? If I sort it, the first thing that comes up looks the same because I didn't put anything in here. Or you can also sort by what is the newest thing in the collection. Becoming President, Gerald R. Ford is one of the newest. And also a quiz, a news quiz. Notice the date. This is only yesterday. One of the things that makes PBS Learning Media different than other kinds of media resources for the classroom is PBS NewsHour and our news resources. If your students come into the classroom and they're talking about something that has just happened, it's very likely that you can find resources to discuss maybe the latest Black Lives Matter protests, maybe something that's happened around the election. That will be right here in PBS Learning Media under the NewsHour Daily Story Collection. Okay, continuing with these blue buttons. This is my favorite way to search, by subject with the blue buttons. So let's say we're going to look at professional development for teachers. And this is how it's organized. This is why I like it so much. Do you want something specifically about planning and preparation? You can click on this circle. Or effective instruction, maybe assessment and evaluation, or setting up a learning environment. Professional practice. Disciplines. So if I just wanted to do planning and preparation, I could click here. And then here are all different ways of looking at the brain in learning, Common Core state standards, developing curriculum, looking at the dropout rate. There's 30 videos on this. How to prevent dropouts, initiative and self-direction, risk factors, educational technologies, digital tools, generation. That means the digital natives that some of us have in our classrooms. Of course, these are much younger than yours. But 21st century skills, college readiness, media diet, social media, texting, and then for special populations, depending on what your special population is, there are resources for all of them. So that is one way of searching. Let me go back to the front page and show you what you get when you look, let's say, at English language arts. There are all the different disciplines you can search into, including technical writing, which is something in the Common Core. If you filter by grade and you want only senior and high school grade, there are still a bunch of videos. Maybe we're only going to look at lesson plans. 155 is still quite a lot. If I clear the filters, so 2,162 videos alone, just about 12th grade English language arts. You can filter writing, speaking and listening, reading and science and technology, back to the beginning. So now you've seen my favorite way of searching. You might have a different favorite way, and there are more. Okay, the middle section of the front page again of PBS Learning Media has news and events. If we're doing something like a big screening that the general population would be interested in, for instance, tonight, we're previewing a documentary called B. Mandelman, Poetry and Paint. She's an artist from Taos. This, I want to point out to you, is from the Teachers Lounge. There are blogs that teachers submit to the Teachers Lounge. PBS Teachers Lounge is a great place to get advice and information from teachers. The Bitmoji classroom is something I did not know anything about until we went virtual. And then Janae Menacucci from APS talked to me about her Bitmoji classroom. And so you can set up a virtual classroom and a teacher can take you through the whole idea of making connections, engaging learners online with the Bitmoji classroom. This is the PBS Teachers Lounge. And if you look at all posts or current and trending posts, you will see something that I think might be really, really helpful to you guys. 15 lessons learned from online teaching. Or how about voices in education, shifting focus from good grades versus good people. Also, because we just recently had the 100th anniversary of the women's right to vote, we can look at women's suffrage. If you are working with adults, they can all vote. I would remind you maybe to encourage them to do that. And I will go back to PBS Learning Media from the PBS Teachers Lounge. So here we are back at the beginning. Here are some tools for anti-racist training. There's a full series of them, a 4-part series of professional development online, and you can watch the webinars that were live and were recorded. And then here, remember we saw 15 important lessons from online teaching. There's a direct link to that on the front page. I'm going to stop for a second and see if we have any questions. Anybody have any questions they want to put in the chat now? I'm going to continue on. I have quite a bit of time, so please put questions or ask me to do specific searches if you like. Okay. I'm going back to pbslearningmedia.org. Yeah, where I left off was we were in the center with news and events. Now, award-winning series and collections. This actually, I personally can curate. And so you will see New Mexico PBS Majesty of Music and Math, comes up here, and it's our collection from that documentary. Moments in Time is also our collection. I'm not sure if any of you teach New Mexico history, but this would be really useful for that. These are New Mexico specific videos and lesson plans. And let me show you what's in here. Moments in Time includes, this one is very popular, Fashioning New Mexico Victorian Secrets, because it's about underwear. And of course, we can't do a New Mexico history without Billy the Kid. So here he is. This is the real story, not the Hollywood one. We did this in collaboration with the New Mexico History Museum in Santa Fe, and they have a collection of hide paintings from Native Americans, and this is about that Segesser hide painting collection. How about the Rough Riders in New Mexico? You will see these little numbers on the sides. This is how long these videos are. They were made specifically for classrooms, so they are all really short, mostly less than 10 minutes. This is my personal favorite, the Palace of the Governors. Actually, no, not as a favorite as the last one, I think. Looking at, through the lens, imagining Santa Fe. This is Santa Fe history through photographic archives at the New Mexico History Museum. You probably are aware that there was internment camps in Santa Fe for the Japanese population. And here is a documentary that we made about them, 10 minutes long, where we actually found people who were put into those camps in Santa Fe. The original Estancia Press, the Camino Real, the Buffalo Soldiers in New Mexico. Here's a collection at the New Mexico History Museum of religious artifacts from New Mexico and going back to Mexico and Spain. This actually is my favorite one. Doña Teresa Aguilera y Roche is the wife of a very early governor of New Mexico, and she is taken away by the Spanish Inquisition. She was so resourceful that through writing letters and giving evidence, she was able to free herself. Something else I want to show you. This is called the resource page. It's right here at the top. Do you have a Google Classroom? This is how you connect New Mexico PBS Learning Media to your Google Classroom. Just click here. Since I'm not a teacher, I don't have a classroom, but if I did, it would be in this list here. And then I could click go, and these would be imported into my Google Classroom. If you find something you like and you don't want to have to search for it again, you just click this little heart button here and it will go into your favorites. I'll show you in a minute how favorites work. I love this. I would love to share it with my friends through social media or maybe by email. You don't want to see this. Or Remind, which some schools use. I have no idea what that looks like. Or you just want to get a link for it to share with other people. There's your link. You copy it, and then you can email it or share it with your students, with other teachers, with your colleagues. That's if you click on this share button here. So on this resource page, or any resource you find that you want to remember, you can make a favorite. Going back to our front page, and we're almost at the bottom, and I'll stop in a minute again for questions. Do you have anybody that's leaning towards a career in the sciences? There are 45 1-minute long Ask a Scientist videos that we produced in New Mexico. And these are all New Mexican scientists. They might be from New Mexico Tech. They might be from Intel. They might be from Sandia National Labs. And in 1 minute, they tell us how they became a scientist and why and what they love about their job. And some of them even tell you how they got there. I have it organized by discipline. Some of these cross over, so engineering and materials or geology and chemistry, but you can see an individual scientist talking about their work, and there's almost 50 of these. There are short vocabulary activities to go with each one. Okay, moving on to the collection. I'm going to change this collection soon because we are in Hispanic Heritage Month. Latino Americans is a great series from American Experience to give you the history of Latinos in America. This election collection Election Central is really important for those students that have questions about how the electoral process works, how voting works, and it's nonpartisan, kind of non-biased information about voting and the election process. But let me click on this right now because this is one of the newest collections in PBS Learning Media, and it is totally awesome. I don't know if you guys are Ken Burns fans or not, but the Ken Burns in the Classroom collection is amazing. There are a couple ways to search. Of course, you can, again, do a keyword search, or you can jump to the resources by era or by film. If you just scroll down, it starts with featured resources from Women's Suffrage Centennial. Like I mentioned, it's the 100th anniversary. If you browse classroom resources by era, this is American history by whatever era you might be studying. Starting with the American Revolution and ending 1980 to the present. And of course, these track along with specific Ken Burns documentaries. If you wanted, you can also search by film. And here are the films. Obviously, Ken Burns is a big baseball fan. So baseball is here, the 10th inning is here, and Jackie Robinson, which is a really good resource for the civil rights era and the fight for the African-American rights. Of course, the most famous Ken Burns film and the one that made his reputation, the Civil War. So if you are teaching the Civil War, I highly recommend this. Very recent, country music. I hope you guys who are country music fans watch this. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. This is about actual colleges going on behind bars in the prison system. Very recent also, East Lake Meadows, a public housing story about housing equity. Also very recent, The Gene and Intimate History about genetic science. This again is about women's suffrage, national parks, prohibition. The Roosevelts is very good. Vietnam War, the war is the Second World War. And then finally, I want to point out one that I only discovered recently, even though it was produced in 1996, The West. This one is about us. If you're teaching American history or New Mexico history, this one will be very helpful to you. It's about migration and innovation, intercultural encounters, and land-based conflict. These two, if you have any Native Americans in your class, you need to prepare them carefully for any of the videos and resources that are around intercultural encounters and land-based conflict. Ken Burns pulls no punches when it comes to the history of Native Americans in the West. These are very disturbing videos. The kind of treatment that Native Americans had to endure is appalling. It is in fact genocide. And so if you have Native Americans in your class and you want to teach about this, this is traumatic stuff. So be sure to prepare them carefully for this. That said, this is one of the best collections about our history here in New Mexico and the West that I have ever encountered. And it's a lot of good information. So I'm hoping that you will have a use for Ken Burns and Ken Burns in the Classroom, and also the West. All right, one more time, back to the front page, and then I'm going to stop in a minute and look and see if we have questions under these featured collections. Of course, there's Civil Rights collection, Black America since MLK. The American Masters collection is really good. It's about individuals who do really special stuff. So maybe Maya Angelou, Sammy Davis, things about poetry. Hedy Lamarr is really an interesting one. I had no idea Hedy Lamarr, who was this bombshell in Hollywood, also was an inventor and scientist. It's a way cool documentary. And here is Al Gore and climate change and the environmental movement. So this is a really good collection too. This is why I put it on the front page of PBS Learning Media. And there are lessons and readings that go along with that. So these are all the collections that I put on our front page, also about Asian Americans. And those of you who are in our anti-racism and bias workshop, here's the Black Panthers, Vanguard of the Revolution. And then down at the bottom again, The Majesty of Music and Math, you can see the entire documentary if you want to, and you can look at the lesson plans that go with it. And then once again, at the very bottom, help. Other things about PBS education, you can contact them. If you find a link that's broken or something is not working, feel free to click on Contact Us, put the link that is not working in there, and they will get back to you and try to fix it. So I'm going to stop sharing again and see if anyone has any questions in the chat box for me to answer. So what do we got here? Can you explain a little bit about syncing PBS Learning Media with Google Classroom? I think the best way to do that would be to look under Help. Let me share my screen for you guys. There is a video on how to link PBS Learning Media in the video tutorials. Here I am, I clicked on Help, and if you go down, you will see Google Classroom. This is something I requested specifically because I'm not a teacher. I didn't have a Google Classroom, and so teachers were asking me this question a lot. And I said, please make a video about this, and sure enough, they did. So here is the tutorial on Google Classroom. I'm not hearing any sound. So I didn't get any sound to come out of that. Oh, that's because my speaker's not on. Never mind. But I think that you can find out more about syncing with Google Classroom. With Canvas, we are working on this. There is something called IT frames that seems to link PBS Learning Media into Canvas in some kind of way. I had a meeting between the department, PED department, PBS, and WGBH in Boston, who are responsible for producing most of what's in PBS Learning Media, about Canvas, because there are 15 states that have a contract with Canvas, a statewide contract. What you can do in the meantime is to post the links from PBS Learning Media into Canvas. Okay, so what else do we have? How about searches on math, specifically statistics, population trends, 4th to 6th grade? I have some more time, so yeah, I can show you this. Let me share my screen again, and we will do a search on math specifically. All right, so here I'm going to do mathematics. We're gonna, let's see, where's statistics? One of the statistics and probability. But this is high school. You were looking for 6 to 8. Am I right? Let me just look. 4 to 6. Okay. So let's grade level 4, 5, and 6. See, you can do more than one. type. Do we want a lesson plan or a video? Let's do a video. And we are not necessarily getting statistics. Let's see, K through 8 mathematics, statistics and probability. Did you see what I just did? I did that really fast, I apologize. I went to K through 8 mathematics, and then there's a drop down under that called statistics and probability, and I'm drilling down from there. And we are looking at population distribution and trends. I have something else I can show you on this. Comparative inferences with two populations, variability, distributions. So we're looking at populations. You can see Khan Academy is one of the resources that comes up in PBS Learning Media. We don't have everything from Khan Academy, but a lot of it as it fits. Probability models, statistical variability, you can drill down even more. So we're looking for specifically populations and trends. Specifically statistics, population trends. Let's do a search specifically on that. I'm going back here. Population trends. Okay, and then I'm going to drill down to grades 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to click on math. Let's see. All these pluses give us a lot of ways to drill down. So I'm back at random sampling. Let's just see what happens if I click on K8 mathematics. And then we're going to look for, well, maybe there's a collection. How about that? And 7 results come up. Teaching stories of the immigration debate, things explained, math games. There's one, though, that I remember seeing. I think it's called the lowdown population. Of course, I still have my filters up, so it may not pop up. Let me go back. Population growth, there's a lesson plan. But this is about invasive species, not people. Salmon population. There's so much stuff. I think you can have fun digging into this on your own. Here's one on counting the undocumented. The lowdown is an interesting collection. That's why I was looking for this. And there's one more thing I want to show you. We only have 2 minutes though, so I'm going to drop out of this. But this sends you right to KQED education. And this is one, the lowdown, that I think is a really cool collection that includes like affordable housing and other things around population. I'm going to stop sharing again because we only have 1 minute left and I want to make sure that if there's any more questions. So yeah, lots of possibilities. I'm going to put my email right here. And you can email me with any questions, ideas. If you want me to do a special demonstration of PBS Learning Media at your school or with your group of teachers, I am so happy to do it. That would be awesome, you guys. So please feel free to email me. Terry knows where to find me. And we are out of time. So thank you all for joining me today. See you later.